Welcome everyone! Now welcome to the first long form video. I know, I'm not doing short form brain rot anymore. No, I will do, but still. Alright everyone, calm down now. It's not that big. Anyway, without any further ado, let's get into it. Yeah, it's quite simple, just don't be Call of Duty. Jokes aside, there are many good examples of good games. One of my personal favourites being Cyberpunk. We don't talk about Day 1 patch though. But excluding that, this is one of the best games I have personally ever played. Like, the story was riveting, the gunplay was smooth. It's not the best thing you'll ever see, but it was just a fun and enjoyable game. And there are many factors that add up to that, just like the character of the world, the things to do within it. There's so much to do, there's so much side content, so much main content, there is just so much within it that it never leaves you bored. A point of a game is to entertain you, so if a game doesn't do that, then it's a bad game. That simple, I know. But now we haven't looked at an example of a good game. Why is that game good? Why is Cyberpunk good? Well, it comes down to three things. Story. Is the story riveting? Am I interested? Am I constantly wanting to know what happens next and see what happens with the characters? Number two is gameplay. What are you actually doing within the game? Because if you're not doing much, or what you're doing is boring and tedious, that doesn't make your game fun. It makes it boring inherently. Third, but not least, definitely, would be content. How much is there to do? Have I got loads to do, or have I got very little to do? And I think these three things make a game good. Obviously, there are some games that don't have stories, and they are a sole exception. If they don't have the story, the other two areas should be making up more for that. There are many games that have been tried to be the greatest of all time, but they have just massively flopped. A great example of this would be Anthem. Anthem was released in 2019, and all the advertising before that had led everyone to believe that this was going to be the next big thing. But on release day, it majorly flopped. This was due to a multitude of reasons. One of the biggest ones was over-promising. EA promised this was going to be the biggest game yet, and it just under-delivered on day one. This game was such a disappointment that it got shut down in 2021. To give you an idea of how disappointing this game was, Games Radar described it as frustrating and genuinely makes me sad. Now, that is an official reviewer for these games. This is an idea of how much of a disappointment it really was. I have found reviews that say after some bug fixes and some updates that the game was a lot better, but unlike games like Cyberpunk, it just wasn't worth it because the game wasn't that good overall. Even after updates and things, you can't fix something that is just never going to work in the first place. Another thing that can make a game bad is the same thing over and over again. Well, let's look at two examples of this, FIFA and Call of Duty. I don't think I need to provide evidence. Over the years, the opinions have just gone down and down and down. This is due to the fact that the company's respects for the games have just gotten worse. They release a similar product every single year, and the reviews have got worse every single year. The players coming back has got worse every single year, because although they're making less money, they are still bringing in an audience. They're still making some money, and to these companies, that's okay, because they're still making millions, just less millions, and they're spending less millions. Even then, they make up for these losses with microtransactions, and that is a whole other video topic right there that has been milked to death by other YouTubers, right? So I'm not going to go over it here, but still, you get my point. Well, anyway, I'm going to end the video here. I know it's short, but I think for my first video, I think it should be good. I feel like I should be celebrated. But anyway, remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.